everyone, and welcome to a Sims 4 speed build. My name's Millie. Thank you for joining me today as I'm sharing this kind of like an industrial loft. It's called the Creative Loft, and I kind of wanted to basically showcase a couple of new kits that I bought. So I bought the Artist Studio kit and also the Book Nook kit. So they're new for me, but I know the Book Nook one came out a while ago, and I think, the Artist Studio one's quite new. But I was just really excited to try them, to be honest. So I wanted to make, kind of like a place for a young, creative couple. And this is what I ended up building, which I'm really, really happy with. So as you can see, it's kind of going for that red brick moment with a green roof. I started the build by finding an image on Pinterest, and so kind of like this side that we're looking at right now, that was the sort of like front of the building that was on this like Pinterest image. So I kind of started by mainly just like trying to recreate this. It took me a really long time to figure out how I actually wanted it to look in The Sims, because it's obviously so much harder to just like take a real life image of a building and then actually make it in The Sims, because the colours sometimes, you know how it is, they just don't match up. The image, I'll link to it down below, but the image was like the building was quite like green themed, like it had a lot of really cool, nice, kind of like dark green, sagey kind of like details, which I tried to recreate and I kind of didn't manage to do it as much as possible, but I left the roof green because I thought that looked really nice. But then for the kind of like windows, I kind of just ended up going with black windows, to be honest, which I feel like is a bit of a cop-out. I wish that I could have made the whole green thing work, but sadly the stars were just not aligning for me. But that's okay, because you move on. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. So but to tell you a bit more about this young couple that I was kind of imagining, so we have a young kind of like professor called Alistair Fletching. So I was imagining, he was kind of like an academic, very into books, definitely a nerd. So I was imagining that he would just want like a shit ton of books everywhere. And then his partner Naomi, I kind of made her more of the artistic person. And then what I ended up doing, which wasn't in the plan to begin with, but I ended up building like a sort of artistic studio that was separate from the actual main kind of like building. And that is pretty much got all of the artist studio stuff in there. So that kind of ended up being her space, which I quite like, that they've both got kind of like their own things going on. So Naomi, I was kind of imagining would be maybe working as a barista kind of part-time, and then when she's at home trying to make it as a big-time artist, so spends a lot of her spare time painting, and just trying to make it as an artist. It's hard out there, but there we go. So I think that kind of front is pretty much what it ended up being. And then it took me a really long time figuring out how I wanted these windows on like the side looking out to the river, but I knew that I wanted it to be like basically all glass that side, so that they've got a nice view of that river. And this is in the world of Windenburg, and I believe it's a 20 by 20 lot. And I was just really, really happy with how it turned out in this world. I think even though the art, like the style of this build is quite different to the rest of the houses in Windenburg, this is a bit more modern. I still think that it works, I hope. Let me know if you agree. If you don't agree, constructive feedback is always appreciated. But really, really happy with how it turned up. I can't remember the house and the sim that lives in this lot, like normally when you first start The Sims, but hilariously, when I kicked her out and then I started playing my new couple on this lot, when I started playing, she was in the house and she wouldn't leave, so I had to do that really horrible thing where I had to travel with that sim to a different lot and then just leave her there. So I felt really horrible, but you know, she doesn't live there anymore. She had to get out. So what are you gonna do? Maybe I should make her a house, because I do feel quite bad for just kicking her out. But you know, maybe I should make her a little cute house that she can live in, so she won't be lonely. I think she's actually that sim that is like immortal. There's like a conspiracy theory going around that she's actually immortal. I can't remember her name, so if you can remember, please let me know in the comments down below. So yeah, the windows at the moment, this is kind of what I ended up going with. I think I ended up adding a couple more to that side that's on the river. And here I am just adding some details to that kind of like, it started out being the front of the house, but I ended up actually not making it the front of the house. I thought it would be cool to have the actual front doors. It's kind of those like stably doors that you can see in like the back of the house, because I sort of was thinking kind of fits with the warehouse theme of the lot. If it was a factory, then there would probably be some of those kind of big doors for getting, you know, machinery and whatnot like in and out. So I thought it would be quite cool to have that as the front door. And then the door that you do see on the sort of the front of the build, that isn't actually a door, it's actually a window, and it's not usable. So yeah, and then the kind of staircase that like runs up it, I just decorated it with some plants. I thought that would be quite nice. And yeah, just figuring out the old stairs there. And then yeah, I added this little chimney thing that I thought actually this was kind of the point when it started to feel like it was coming together. Before this, I didn't really know what I was doing. But yeah, I thought that it kind of made it all start to come together. And just adding some little decorations. I ended up, yeah, adding those kind of window, what do you call them? I was going to say window toppers, but I don't think that's what they're called. Sunlight shade things, which, yeah, just thought it added a nice little detail. And then this front bit, as I said, because it's not actually used as like a front door or anything, I just wanted to basically put a shitload of flowers, make it look, start to kind of like give it a bit of life. So here I am just adding many flowers, and then yeah, to the back, well, technically the front door, but the back of the build, if you're kind of looking at it front ways. Yeah, just adding a few more plants. The kind of like power sun, I don't know what they're called, but the sun power thing that I put at the back of the build, for some reason when I was playtesting, that was the only thing that didn't actually work. It just kept on saying no power utility, and that it didn't have enough light. So annoyingly, I don't know if it's actually functional. So yeah, you might just, if you do download it, just be aware that doesn't actually work. But I thought aesthetically it was quite nice, so I'm going to keep it in, but it doesn't actually work. So if you do end up downloading it, please be aware, and yeah, you can obviously just delete it. And I don't know if that was the Eco Lifestyle or the For Rent pack, but you might not even have it. And this is actually a no custom content build, because I don't really have custom content, to be honest. I feel like that makes me not really a professional simmer, but you know, is what it is. I probably will end up getting them at some point, but I don't even have all of the packs at the moment. So yeah, here I am building the artist studio. As you can see, got plenty of light for Naomi so that she can do lots of lovely paintings. And yeah, this was the set from the greenhouse kit. I really love that kit. That was like the first kit that I think I bought because I was just like, I absolutely need that. I love greenhouses and just the idea of making a greenhouse, and ironically this is not actually a greenhouse, but any sort of like out kind of garden studio something, like I love that so much. That's like my dream in the future when I one day have my own home. I would just really love to have some sort of like outback studio I could just run along to and set it up as maybe even like a little gaming station. That'd be fun. Or even just a kind of like an art studio. I do love a little bit of painting, so yeah. And yeah, here you can see I've got lots more greenery going on, added some trees. I do end up moving some of those trees around. And then I wanted to create some sort of like pathway that really links everything together. I think I end up moving the sort of like positioning of the studio around a little bit, but it pretty much stays where it is at the moment. And I do end up moving this tree around a lot. It doesn't end up there. I know that for sure. But yeah, it's really nice, kind of, because this is the first time that I've actually recorded myself building anything in The Sims. It's really nice seeing it like come together in a video. It's something that I've been wanting to do for ages. It's my favourite content on YouTube is watching people making builds, so I just thought, why not give it a go myself? Because I end up spending so many hours in my spare time just making builds. I thought it would be nice to have a way of like showcasing that, and hopefully meeting some other simmers. That's kind of like my main thing as well. I love I feel like the Sims community is such a lovely place. Everyone's so nice, and because it's so creative as well. Yeah, I just want to share some of the love, and hopefully get some tips, get some feedback going, and get some inspiration, some ideas for other things to build. And of course, if you're a fellow simmer as well, I would absolutely love to see some of your stuff, so feel free to leave in the comments your gallery ID or your Instagram, YouTube's, whatever you put any of your builds on, or even like your Sims. I always love seeing other people's builds and how people do things. Would absolutely love to see that. And any ideas, let me know. So here I am just doing some kind of terrain work, adding some bushes. I do add a couple of trees. I think I keep that tree, but I think both of these trees I think I keep. I ended up liking those. So just a little bit of terrain painting, and then adding. I really like this little fence that I've like put around the house. I think it works really well with the railing, and also just like the whole black kind of theme for the artist studio, and also like the windows. I think that looks really cute. Now starting to work more on the terraining. I don't know if that's the word, but the terrain painting, landscaping. That's the word. Landscaping for the artist studio. I really like these little lavenders. I end up getting rid of those two green bushes that I ended up adding at the beginning, because I just don't think they looked very nice, to be honest. Call me rude, maybe I am rude, but just doing a little grassy moment there. Adding a bit of grass to the trees, just to try and make it look a little bit more natural. I imagine in the town of Windenburg there'd be decent amount of grass. Just doing that, and then I do end up going through later on in the video. I do end up showing how I furnished the inside. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Now I'm just adding some ivy. I do end up getting rid of those like big square pieces of ivy, and I just end up going with the, I can't remember what those are called, wisteria. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, I think that's wisteria, the purple stuff. So out in front of the artist studio, I'm now just adding in a little kind of gardening area. I like to imagine that Alistair and Naomi, in their spare time, because they're quite creative, maybe they like cooking, so they might want to have some of their own herbs that they grow. So yeah, now I'm just figuring out how big I want it to be, and I end up sort of lining up a little bit more with the shape of the actual studio. And yeah, just adding in some little plant pots. As I was playtesting, I did realise that the big plant pot that's on the left side, although I guess it'd be both sides actually, you basically can only plant 3 plants if you're doing like the little ones on those big ones, because the outer corner that is like covered by gate, the Sims can't access it annoyingly. So yeah, you can only get 3 of the little plants, but if you were to do like a tree, then obviously that just goes in the middle, so would recommend that. So yeah, adding some more grass here, and I did end up adding a little bee, what is it called, bee hut. So yeah, I thought it ended up looking very cute, and I always love any sort of like outdoorsy stuff. I just think it's really nice. So yeah, and I think I end up doing a little bit more terrain painting for this, adding some rocks. And I'm actually bundled up with a hot water bottle, sitting on my desk at the moment while I'm doing this, because it's currently the end of October in England, and we've had like the weirdest summer where it's still kind of warm, but it's now just starting to get cold, which is really odd for England, because normally by the time it hits like September, it'll be starting to get a bit nippy. But yeah, so this is the first kind of week where it's starting to get a bit colder. So I just brought out the hot water bottle, so I'm feeling quite cozy, which is very nice. And speaking of cozy, now I've started to decorate the inside of the build. So I've added these, the furniture, the sofa, and the 2 little armchairs from the Book Nook kit, which I really, really like. And then there's also this, the sofa that I put upstairs. That's also from the Book Nook kit, and I really like all of the furniture that's part of that kit. And now I'm also adding the bookcases, and just like stacking up lots of stacks of books, more shelves, because I just wanted the inside of the build to feel super, super cozy and just like really show how academic Alistair is mainly. And then yeah, just adding in a little bathroom underneath the sort of mezzanine area. And yeah, now starting to use, these are the lights that are really cool from I think it's called the Industrial Loft kit, and I really love how these look and how they've got these like, obviously this like long different lengths. So for the bit that's like overhanging from the very ceiling all the way down, I chose the longest ones, and I think they look really cool. And yeah, adding a little light to the bathroom, and now just starting to decorate the kitchen. I went back and forth on some of the cabinets, because yeah, I was trying to figure out the colour scheme, but yeah, very happy with what I ended up. And the bathroom now, quite a small bathroom. I was gonna make it bigger, but then I realised that because of where the windows are placed, that would not be appropriate, because you would be able to see someone on the toilet, which I don't want that for my Sims. So yeah, the bathroom's quite small, but I guess that kind of makes sense for this kind of place, because it's a bit small in terms of like size, and if you get like an apartment in New York or London, like you're always going to get kind of a smaller bathroom. And Alistair and Naomi are not made of money, she works as a barista, he does pretty well for himself as a professor, but you know, they're by no means rich. So yeah, and now just adding a few little plant pots. I've noticed now that I've started recording myself when I build, like, I'm not very good at just focusing on one area, so I kind of end up going like back and forth to different parts, and it's probably because I saw something in the like the items list, and I was like, ooh, those plant pots would look so good on the outside bit, so I just end up going back, and I want to try and get better at trying to be a bit more concise, but it's probably just how my brain works. And yeah, the spice rack and the cookbook and all that, I kind of end up changing how all of the clutter kind of looks for the kitchen. But yeah, just adding in those finer details now. Ended up I wanted the wood maybe to be a bit more darker, just to kind of like fit in a bit better with the dark windows. And I like the kind of contrast from like the orangey kind of brick and like that sort of like wooden flooring. I really like how it looks against like the dark brown. So yeah, now moving on to the mezzanine, added a little desk for Alistair. And I can't remember what kit that bed is from. I know that it's not the industrial loft one, because I tried that one and I didn't like how it looked, so I ended up going for this one instead. So yeah, now just adding in a little bit more clutter, sorting out his desk, and I really love the positioning of the desk, because it's like while he's doing his work he can just like look out onto the river, and I went for that kind of antique-y looking typewriter style laptop for him. So yeah, I think I just saw these. I started decorating, doing all of like the painting and adding all the paintings and decorations and stuff. So adding a little wine bottle, because I was like, I think they're a fun couple, you know. I think that they like a glass of vino. I think I ended up moving that, to be honest, though. So yeah, just adding a few more bits, adding a dresser, and I really love how, the furniture ends up looking. I think that I ended up achieving that kind of that cozy vibe. So yeah, enjoying it very much. And I realised that I could add in all of these like puzzles and like the jigsaw boxes, which I think look really cool, although I don't actually know how you use them, because when I was playtesting I was like trying to get them to do a jigsaw and also get them to play like board games and stuff, which I thought was a feature, but for some reason it just like wouldn't let me click on them. I don't know if it's because of where I've positioned them, but yeah, I don't know how to make that work. So if you know, please let me know down below, because I would love it for them to do a jigsaw. I absolutely love doing a jigsaw, especially around Christmas time. Nothing better than that. So now I'm adding in some more plants to the interior. Wanted there to be lots and lots of plants for them as like a creative couple. I just feel like plants, it just makes sense for them as people. And I think I end up kind of moving a lot of these plants around. And controversially, I actually didn't end up giving them a TV, just because I thought that it's kind of nice, you know, sometimes to just make Sims that, just kind of live a bit more, not like against technology, but are just more, because they're both so artistic and creative. I just thought it would be nice, you know, for them to focus on their passions. There's plenty of books in this loft, as you can see. So yeah, so here I am just playing around with some different rugs. I really love this rug that I end up going with for the downstairs. I think it adds so much life to the build. I really love it. So I was so happy that I found it. And just adding a little bath mat for the bathroom. Doing a bit of rejigging for the shoe rack, adding a little umbrella, obviously a fire alarm, smoke alarm, And yeah, now I think I just end up getting rid, oh yeah, because I wanted to add a kettle, because I realised I didn't really have any appliances. So I wanted to add in a kettle, but because I have so much clutter, I realised that they wouldn't actually have like a space to actually do any cooking, so I think I end up getting rid of like the dish rack and the spice rack. But yeah, very happy with how it ends up looking. And I have kind of realised that I forgot to put any kind of blinds or curtains in the build, which, you know, maybe the Sims won't appreciate. But I do kind of feel like, you know, is it the end of the world? Who really needs, you know, who really needs curtains? Who really knows blinds? But, you know, you obviously you can add those in if you want. I might go back in before I upload it to the gallery. I might add some in. I'll see how I feel, to be honest. But I kind of forget with The Sims because it doesn't really matter in terms of gameplay. Like they're not gonna not get changed or anything just because there's no curtains. But yeah, just a fun little thing that I realised while I was editing this. So yeah. Yeah, and so as you can see, I'm just adding in a lot more plants. You know, I didn't feel like there was enough, and I really love the hanging plants as well. I think that one on the right is from the like blooming plant kit, and yeah, adding some fun wall decorations. I wanted it to kind of show that, especially Alistair was like a bit of a intellectual, you know, maybe they've travelled a little bit, so I wanted to reflect that in their space, and I did remember to put the ceiling paint on because I always forget to do that, but as you saw a moment ago, I remembered to put that in. Very proud of myself. And yeah, adding a nice little letterbox, and now starting to work on the artist studio. So basically I just put in the artist studio pack because I was like, I just want this to be solely devoted to that, and I really love all of these items. I think it's, yeah, I love like art and painting like anyway outside of The Sims, so when I saw this pack I was like, oh my god, I need this in my life. And I love the little sink that comes with it because it just reminds me of when I did art at school, and like you would always get those exact sinks that you'd like go and wash up your paints and stuff, so that was such a little bit of nostalgia for me. Yeah, and I love like the paint splatters. I think that looks really cool. So yeah, I was just kind of figuring out how I wanted it to look, choosing between, there's like two different stands that you can have. There's like the smaller one that I ended up going with, or the bigger one, and I thought that because she's still kind of like an artist, kind of like in the making, you know, she's probably not going to have like the highest, the most high-end like gear, so I gave her the smaller one, which I think works well, but I did give her the nice kind of backdrop. Yeah, and I really love how it looks. I love, yeah, all those like posters and stuff, like the sketches that you can put on the wall, the paint splatters. Yeah, I just think I just love it. I really love, I love the main house that I built, but especially this like artist studio. This is just like my dream. So yeah, I was really happy with it. And I love the trolley. Oh my god, the trolley is like amazing to die for. And yeah, as I said, I will make sure I put everything up on the gallery, and I'll put my gallery ID down below, so check that out if you want to download the lot, or if you want to have a play around with Alistair and Naomi. You can absolutely do that. And oh yeah, and I also love that you can change the paint splatters to like different sizes and stuff, and afterwards I was realising that it would be really cool if you could like layer the paint splatters as well with like different textures and stuff. So for my next artist studio, I'm gonna do that. I think that sounds great. But anyways, thank you so much for watching if you made it till the end. Yeah, it's been really fun, and I'm gonna be making another video very soon, so be on the lookout for that. But I will leave you with me finishing this artist studio up, and hope you guys have a gorgeous rest of your week.